Good afternoon, everyone. How are you? It's Teacher Franklin, and we're going to be reading The Bird Who Cried Wolf. The Bird Who Cried Wolf by Kitty Richards, illustrated by Barry Goldberg. The Thornberrys were visiting Rinka Island. Alyssa and her family were going on a picnic. Everyone started hiking. Suddenly, a bird with a bald head flew over Alyssa. "That noisy friar bird seems to fancy you, Alyssa," said Nigel. "Hello, hello, hello," the bird said. "I'm very pleased to meet you. Very pleased." No one knew that Alyssa could understand him and other animals. So Alyssa is this young lady wearing yellow, guys. Alyssa walked slowly behind her family so she can talk to the bird. "Hello," she said. "We're going on a picnic, and I love picnics," chattered the bird. "Thanks, I'd love to join you." The noisy firebird would not stop talking. Suddenly, Nigel stopped in his tracks. "Look at this," he shouted. He pointed to a huge flower the size of an extra, extra large pizza. "Yeah," cried Alyssa. "It smells like rotten meat." "The Rafflesia arnoldi smells bad to attract flies," said Nigel proudly. "It's very rare. Fascinating, isn't it?" "Thrilling, Dad," said Debbie. "Let's get out of here. It stinks." Suddenly, they heard a rustling sound. "Shh," said Nigel. "Don't move." The bird flew off to see what was going on. A second later, he flew back, chattering wildly. "Komodo dragon!" the bird screeched. Alyssa knew her family was in danger. "It's a Komodo dragon!" she yelled. No one moved. The rustling grew louder, and then out walked a tiny lizard. "That's the smallest Komodo dragon I've ever seen," said Nigel, with a grin. The whole family howled with laughter. But," said Alyssa. So Nigel is this young gentleman here, the only gentleman on the book, just so you guys know, with red hair. The bird flew along as everyone walked on. "Sorry, Alyssa," he said. "I really thought you were in danger." Alyssa shrugged. "It's okay. You were only trying to help." "Be more careful next time," Darwin told the bird. So Darwin is the monkey. Okay, you guys? Alyssa stopped to tie her shoelace. Suddenly, she felt something brush against her neck. It was smooth and thin, like a pit viper, shrieked the bird. Alyssa froze. So did Darwin. He put his hand over his eyes. He hated snakes. Davy saw that Alyssa and Darwin were way behind. She ran back to see what was going on. "What's the matter?" Debbie asked. Alyssa pointed to her neck. She mouthed the words, "Pit viper." "Sit wiper?" asked Debbie. Then she smiled. "You think that thing on your neck is a pit viper?" Alyssa nodded. Debbie reached over and grabbed a harmless vine. "You've been in the jungle too long, sis," she said as she walked off. "No pit viper?" said Darwin, peeling his fingers away from his eyes. "That wasn't funny," Alyssa said to the bird. The bird hung his head. "I'm sorry. It looked just like a pit viper. I was trying to save you. Can I still come along? Pretty please, with grubs on top." Alyssa sighed. "Okay," she said, "but stop making things up." The Thornberrys finally arrived at their picnic spot. All right, who gets the rare meat wrap? Nigel asked. Donnie ran up and grabbed it. In his other hand, he held a handful of wild berries. Alyssa, those berries are poisonous, said the bird. Yeah, right, said Alyssa. They're berries, said the bird. If he eats them, his tongue will swell up and his face would turn bright green. Alyssa quickly drove across the picnic blanket and knocked the berries out of Donnie's hands. Donnie jumped up and down angrily. Alyssa, said Nigel, what's gotten into you? Those are poisonous berries, explained Alyssa. Nigel shook his head. There's no such thing as berries. Those berries were perfectly safe. Just then, the bird darted away. Thank goodness, thought Alyssa. Maybe he won't come back. But the bird soon came back. Alyssa, Alyssa, he screeched. Ignore the bird, Darwin told Alyssa. Alyssa covered her ears and ran off. There's a stampede of wild horses coming this way, the bird warned. Go away, Alyssa said. You've got to believe me, said the bird. Yeah, just like I believed there was a Komodo dragon, a pit viper, and berries with poison, Alyssa said. Okay, okay, said the bird. I made those things up, but this is true. Alyssa stared at the bird. It was trembling with fear. Maybe I'm crazy, Alyssa thought, but I think he's telling the truth now. Stampede, she yelled. Darwin shook his head. He couldn't believe Alyssa was still listening to that bird. Oh, Alyssa, said Debbie, cut it out. A stampede is nothing to joke about, added Alyssa's mother, Mary Ann. I'm taking a nap, said Nigel. He lay down on the blanket with his ears pressed to the ground. Nigel suddenly heard the sound of thunder. Nigel jumped up. Stampede! He shouted. Everyone ran. Seconds later, a herd of wild horses came rushing through. The dust cleared. Everyone was safe and sound. Wow, Alyssa said. That was close. I'll say, said Darwin. The noisy friar bird was upset. Because of all those things I said, you almost got trampled. But we didn't, said Alyssa, and thanks to you, we're okay. I'm never making things up again, declared the bird. Why did you anyway? Alyssa asked. The bird sighed. Because no one ever listens to me, he said. I wish they would. I have an idea, Darwin said. He whispered in Alyssa's ear. She nodded. Alyssa picked up a stick and touched the bird, first on one wing and then the other. We dub you the official Rinka Island animal warner. Whenever you see real trouble, and it has to be real trouble, it's your duty to warn everyone that they're in danger. The bird was excited. I can do that. I can do that. I'm the official Rinka Island animal warner. I've got to tell everyone. Alyssa, Darwin, and Donnie waved as the bird flew off. Nigel walked up to Alyssa. You saved us, Alyssa, he said. But how did you know we were in danger? Oh, a little bird told me, she said with a grin. Okay, you guys, that's the end of story time. I hope you guys enjoyed it and have a good rest of your day.